Shh, it's okay. Let me help you. It hurts, but I trust you. There, all better now.
The cub should not have been alone. That was the first thought that crossed Mira Calder's mind as she crouched at the edge of the ravine, watching the small predator struggle through the ash grass below. On this world, Varkash 3, nothing that walked on four-clawed limbs survived long without a pack, especially not something young, especially not something injured. Yet there it was. The cub dragged its left foreleg behind it, claws carving thin lines into the black soil. Its breathing came in sharp bursts, each step clearly painful. It paused every few meters, sides heaving, head lowering as if the ground itself was too heavy to hold up. Mira zoomed her visor in slightly. Definitely a cub. Too small to be dangerous, too young to understand fear properly. "Why are you out here?" she whispered. Her mission had nothing to do with cubs. She was a surveyor, contracted to map mineral seams near the old impact basins. Simple work, in and out. Avoid the native predators at all costs. That rule was printed in bold on every briefing. She should have backed away. She should have logged the sighting and retreated to high ground. Instead, she slid down the ravine. Loose stones skittered beneath her boots. The cub's head snapped up instantly, its eyes, large, gold-flecked, far too aware, locked onto her. It hissed weakly and tried to run. It failed. The injured leg buckled and the cub collapsed in a cloud of ash. It scrambled, panic setting in now, trying to rise again. Mira released both hands slowly. "Hey, easy," she murmured, keeping her voice low. "I'm not going to hurt you." The cub didn't understand the words, but it understood tone. It stopped scrambling, chest heaving, eyes fixed on her every movement. Its tail lost once, then went still. Up close, Mira could see the damage. The leg wasn't broken, but something had burned through the muscle. A clean line of scorched flesh. Not a hunting wound. A weapon wound. Her stomach tightened. That meant one of two things. Either the cub had wandered into human territory, or something worse had already happened to its pack. Mira took a slow step forward. The cub growled, the sound thin and exhausted. It tried to bare its teeth, but couldn't quite muster the strength. "I know, you're scared. I would be too." She knelt, careful to stay just out of reach, and unclipped a small med spray from her belt. It was designed for humans, but the compound was broad spectrum. It might help, or it might do nothing. It was still better than leaving the cub to bleed out alone. She sprayed the wound. The cub shrieked. The sound echoed across the ravine, sharp, high, and unmistakable. Mira froze. The cub froze too, realizing immediately what it had done. Its ears flattened. It tried to pull away, but the injured leg refused to cooperate. The ravine went silent. Then Mira felt it. A vibration through the ground. Low. Rhythmic. Too heavy to be thunder. Her visor flared with motion alerts. Red markers bloomed at the edges of her display. 1, 2, 5, 8. A circle. Muriel slowly looked up. They were everywhere. On the ridges, between the rocks, half hidden in the ash grass. The predator pack had arrived. They moved with terrifying quiet, massive bodies flowing over the terrain as if gravity meant nothing to them. Each one was easily 3 times the cub's size. Muscles rolled beneath layered armor plates. Eyes glowed faintly in the dim light, all fixed on her and on the cub. Mira didn't run. She knew better. Instead, she slowly stood and placed herself between the cub and the nearest predator. Her heart hammered so hard she thought it might crack her ribs. "Okay," she said aloud, voice shaking despite her best effort. "Okay, I see you." A low growl rippled through the pack. The alpha stepped forward. He was enormous, even by predator standards. His armor was scarred with old burns and claw marks, his posture radiating dominance so intense Mira felt it like pressure on her chest. He stopped a few paces away. The cub whimpered behind her. Mira didn't move. "I helped it," she said, knowing the translator in her implant would struggle, but hoping intent carried through. "It was hurt." The alpha's gaze flicked briefly at the cub's leg. then back to her. "You touched it," the alpha said, his voice translated into something rough and guttural. "Why?" Mira swallowed. "Because it was limping. Because it was alone." A murmur spread through the pack. Confusion, unease. The alpha's eyes narrowed. "It should not be alive. It carries weakness." Mira felt anger spark through her fear. "It carries pain," she snapped. "That's not the same thing." The alpha circled her slowly. The rest of the pack adjusted with him, never breaking the ring. Mira turned with him, refusing to let him get behind her. The cub pressed against the back of her legs, trembling. "You interfere with our judgment," the alpha said. This cub was marked. "For death?" Mira asked. "For silence." The words sent a chill down her spine. "What does that mean?" The alpha stopped. "For the good of the pack, some voices must be quiet." The cub whimpered again. Mira felt something brush her mind, like static, like a sudden pressure behind her eyes. An image flashed unbidden. Fire, the ground breaking open, the pack scattering too late. Mira gasped. The alpha stiffened. "You felt it," he said quietly. Mira stared at him. Felt what? The warning, the curse. Mira looked down at the cub. It was staring up at her now, eyes wide, unblinking, not afraid, waiting. "This cub," Mira said slowly, "it senses danger before it happens." The alpha's jaw tightened. "And it screams, it disrupts hunts, it spreads fear, it weakens us." Mira shook her head. "No," she said, "it tries to save you." The pack growled, restless. The alpha stepped closer. "You are prey, human. Step aside." Mira didn't. Instead, she crouched and lifted the cub gently into her arms. The pack erupted. Roars shook the ravine. Claws dug into stone. Several predators surged forward before the alpha snapped a command that stopped them mid-step. Mira cradled the cub against her chest. It was lighter than she expected. Too light. "You want to silence it," she said, voice fierce now, "because you don't like what it tells you." The alpha loomed over her. "If you take it, you claim what follows." Mira met his gaze. "Then I claim it," she said. "All of it." The alpha studied her for a long moment. The cub let out a soft sound. Not fear. Relief. The alpha stepped back. The ring loosened. "You may leave, but if its voice brings death to you." Mira didn't let him finish. "I'll listen," she said. "That's the difference." She walked out of the ravine with the cub in her arms, every step watched by golden eyes. The pack did not follow. Days later, when seismic alarms tore through the human outpost, it was the cub who screamed first. Mira listened. They evacuated in time. When the ground split open and fire swallowed the valley, both humans and predators survived because one cub limped and one human stopped. And long after, among the pack, the alpha would remember the day he surrounded a human and she did not run.